Menso velo kumwena valume vanji kumwena valume vanji kumwena valume vandini vachirumendo vandegero kutananza Hello. Good evening, Chuempala. Elias Munshya here on TVBAKWETU. I am very excited to join you on Tuesday, 26 April 2022. Thank you for joining me and some of our friends that are going to be joining us on our discussion today. Now, we have a lot that we need to be dealing with today. And so if you are able to, let me send you a link that you can join in the conversation and in a few questions here and there. So please spread the word around. Let this feed reach as many people as possible. Now, one of the things is we are trying to be technically savvy. Of course we are. Number, the volume for the past shows that I've had, but I know that volume is cheaper. So I don't know why my volume should be if we don't cheaper. But I'm going to subject myself to very, very good technical people so that they help me sort this thing out. At volume is cheaper. Imagine, of all things, that should not be the case because volume is important. Even if the picture quality is not good, volume always important. Anyway. We'll see how that goes. Now, I just want to reflect on a few things. Okay, just a short reflection on a few things. The first thing is with ubututu. So apparently there is a criminal complaint right now in Solwezi and in Namwala over Honorable Nagajinda, who used words like "Imamwewe na Zambia." Of all people, mwaya kubwengwa, eko mwaya senda, ubututu bwa kubwengwa, you know? Ubututu bwa kubwengwa, mwala, ebo mwasa leta mu State House. Now, the reason why this is pretty dangerous, I know, we said that ubututu bwa kubwengwa ebo mwaleta. The reason why it's very dangerous is because it's actually very inflammatory, you know? It's actually very, very inflammatory. Okweba kateka okumushobo ko kateka iwoli wakubwengwa ero nomba imumwebe na Zambia mwalireta ubututu bwakubwengwa ku State House. That's pretty inflammatory, you know. Okay, so if you were saying that kubwengwa kwa ubututu, so the question is ukushaba ubututu nikwi? Because pakawatu landa kubwengwa kwali bobututu nishi okushaba obututu nikwisa, right? That is why it's very problematic. Okay, okushaba obututu nikwi nagachinda nankwe mutonga. Okay, so nagachinda ngarando ko bati okay, kubwengwa kwali bobututu nishi okushaba obututu nipi nikwi. Okay, let's play on whether it was a rural and an urban issue. Okay, rural and urban. So if alo session kwebati teku aranda nikumushi ale sa compare kumushi na town, but the thing is abena lusaka tari abena lusaka bonse bena mushi, right? Because the only indigenous Lusakans basoli ebene abasoli bena kulya kulivala kulya muyumfuira mushi wabasoli na kunyuka asama mwamona emwe tamwaba bwino mwaya kulusaka mwajanda impanga y'abasoli elo nomba mwasayita ati nyuka asama. That's so most of the Lusakans bonse bena mushi ain. So Nish, what is he trying to get at? So inenangu ndanda na fyariro kuchwe mpala, but my ancestral home ni kumilenge ni kumushi ain. So kumilenge kumushi kumwesu kuli batata na kuli bamayo kashifwe bobo wa ushi wakuli mayo both my mother and my father. So kumilenge kumushi kumwesu elo basa tufiyalira kuisa bena bene bafiyalire kumilenge elo basa tufiyalira kuisa kuchingola bashimain ain basa tufiyalira kuchingola basa tufiyalira kuchiwempala ain eko tuwafiyalirwa nombo muntu ngasala ndati kubwengwa kwabo ubututu bwa kubwengwa pantu kateka mwina lusaka tebyo fine chachine afyalirwe kubwengwa ekwakulire and whatever it is elo nomba asaisa kulusaka as a student at the University of Zambia apwishe degree atampa nokubomba nokunonka anonka. And so whatever that gentleman said alefu afyo kushova ain nokupayala picture yakwebati abena bwengwa batutu. That is why it's offensive and it can't be tolerated. Mama, PF, they lost an election. Umlandu wabututu ubine barechto ubwa kubati. Instead of campaigning on issues, ubututu no bufontin. PF, ubututu no bufontin. Now, instead of campaigning on issues, they started magnifying all these prejudices nefishobonensele. Now, you would think after Balusama elections, it's something is going to clue in. Ukuleka ukuponta. Ukuleka akapatulula. You would think that you would expect, as a matter of fact, but they're going to do that. But they haven't. Chilangwa. Rioluimbo Chilangwa. I played that song for you. Chilangwa. Ulimbo kwa Chilangwa. Atitualekwe batu votere atu unine pabwato. Nomba iwe wanina pangombe. Same things. after elections. It's very painful, you know. If you show that are based on tribal prejudices, they fracture the unity of our country. They fracture the unity of our nation. Tribalism must never be tolerated. Tribal prejudices must be called out. Anso dimbi mwebe na bwengwa mwali wako bwino mwe. Bantu mwali n'okwima okufuma ku bwengwa n'okumwendela nakachinda okuyambulanga obututu. Alefu okuwumona mwe. Iwe nga chakutiro wasaye babawushi abena sokontwe abena mirenge ati bawushi ati batutu tukakwendela nga chishite tukwendele kapwepwe alisa eshapo ati batubulu imwe mwebena luwapula batubulu twali musambirisha twali muteka pansha tutiyo bakapwepwe kwenanga mwali kwatakuwa kamusango ka tribalism mwiletako ka tribalism kuli batubulu iyo. No, we are one country, one Zambia, one nation. We value each other, we love each other. Umuntu wala leta kapatulula kafilia. We are going to we find it completely unacceptable. So naba mwikatati bala musambirishako ubututu abumone. Pantu, if you guys mean a program for the people of Zambia, why can't you stick to the program and stop using all this inflammatory tribalistic language? That's it. If you have a program, it's a free country. Convince the people of Zambia on the basis of the program you have. No, but tapali program there is no. Now, because there is no program, now, here is the thing. It's not that ishinsele shanyu. Mamona, ba PF kale batampense lokutukaba tonga kale. And imamwebe na Zambia, you punished them. Elo mwabebo kwebati tribalism tatule ifwaya yo. Now, instead ya kwa tiba chinje imibere shabo. They have not. Alaba Patriotic Front, tabaka chinje mwebo, tabaka chinje. Ubungo, ubufi, tribalism, tribalism benaba fuala, kwati fia kufuala. That's why they're not dealing with issues. Nomba, ndefu munje beko, naga chinda umutonga, nankwe aliba brainwash mli tribalism yaba PF. Alechta repeat the same tribalism if you onfokuba nankwe. That is the danger. Mama nefe tribalism yaba. Wamba kokula chita repeat. Filefine umfwa your fellow PF tribalists. Na you win. We mtonga. Watampa kokula fichita repeat. That is not right. Now, I don't know whether Katuishinga, you know, it's a police case, it's a criminal inquiry right now. I can only pray that the police take their own time at Balechta investigate na bamu ikatari kusolwezi. Chimbo kaira ya kusolwezi. And so wakamtola ku court akalondololo mwinati yo mkwa na inewe nendi mtonga if umonaro session yo mulimbi. Number, if we as the people of Zambia, we are one people, we are one country, elo tuwalitemwa ponse. Aba ushi balitemwa abatonga balitemwa abalozi balitemwa bena chipata. Once together we form one beautiful country, a mosaic of unity. When we say we love our country as a united country, what we mean is that you want a platform ya chalo to call any part of our country at Batutu. No. nakalyafi akamuchinshi kako akateka nomba tamuli akamuchinshi akako akateka tamuli te democracy hiyo kutumba te democracy ifyo tulefwayo okumvwa kuli ba PF ma programs ifyo twale iba twale kokwiba democracy yo twali abango twaleka twali bakongola twibe nomba twaleka bukongola twibe efyo tulefwa okumvwa kuli ba PF ifyo 29 billion of debt that you are trying to resolve as the UPND shali ninkongolo shesu nomba tatwak twaleka ida tribalism ifishobo tuwasho beri abatonga in the run up to the elections tuwapapata mutwerereko twaleka tatwakabwekeshepo twalirufiania tuli bantu fye ebuntu tulefwaya nomba no they have continued. They are doubling down. May the curse of the Patriotic Front never return to our country. Never. Now, that is Naga agenda. Now, here is a question. Here is my challenge to everybody in the Patriotic Front. You do tell me, group the Patriotic Front together, but you are not calling out on the tribalism of Naga agenda and the insults he is lavishing against the people of Bwengwa. Nomba, imwe tamule mukondema yo, tamule mwebo kobati aluba. You are not dissociating yourselves from this tribalism. If you don't dissociate yourselves from this tribalist, from this inflammatory language, I lump you together. As a matter of fact, Nagajinda says what he says against his own people because you, as the Patriotic Front, you have continued in your tribalistic attitudes. As a Zambian of my age, growing up in Chiwempala, we find this tribalism completely unacceptable, intolerable. We can't tolerate it anymore. Because our Tongas, our Lozis, Avena Chipata, we form one country. We are one people. We are one Zambia and we are one nation. Gatuli batutu, nish tuli batutu bonse fwebena Zambia. And mubututu wesu mule mwine ebo kanshina kateka tuakula la babatutu banensu ebo tuasala. If that is the case, and it's okay. Nomboko chita single out abena bwengo atibena batutu. No, it's completely unacceptable. I believe passionately in the equality of all Zambians, every one of them. We are one country. And if it's problematic to anyone, then it's a problematic to you. That's okay. That's why TVBAKWETU exists, to express the respect and unity of every Zambian. Right here on this platform, we welcomed each and every language. We are only limited bantu tatula sambirira yo lelo gana liwaku ishiwe chitonga every day ngecho na lelanda pano pen. And we always say this, umuntu ngaisa pano lelanda ichilozi nangu ichitonga nangu alelanda echa kuchipata elo iweta ule umfu echitundu alelanda nishi ukweto bwafia niwe teuli yo lelanda yo. It's your problem. It's ala no manina ni ukweto bwafia umuntu alelanda Zambian language elo iweta ule umfu wafulwa. You are the one who has a problem. Oh yes, you are. Enough of the thing, and I hope ukubati ala tola mobututu kusolwezi ukwali. In fact, na kusolwezi kwene bamutuale na kubwengwa. Why are they questioning him in so bamutuale kubwengwa police ekwaka elo ndolola wino asange mobututu. That's all. That's all. Okay. We are done with that. In Congole, our country sits at 29 billion debt, 29 billion and counting. Mopani some of you think that government repossess Mopani. No, in actual fact, we owe 1.5 billion on Mopani. Right? So the company, so our PF negotiated a deal where we assumed a liability of 1.5 billion. How are we going to pay back all this debt? The UPND says that they have a plan and the program to resolve this problem. And in fact, that's exactly what they have done. Valelanda na abantu abo twakongwere kupako bachibeshani bomfuane. Nomba na Chinese, they've now sat on the table, which means there is a very good chance okuba twala tampo kuchitashano kumfuana poko batishinkongole tuambe ko kulipira panono. We resolve it. The debt problem in Zambia was created by the Patriotic Front. Now, ba PF balefwa yokobati mwiralanda poyo. Nomba mwebaume. Uku mlefwa yatwiralanda poko bati nkongole shenwish. On the other hand, you are saying Okobati, you are undermining the efforts that the government is doing, trying to resolve this problem. You can't have both things at the same time. We need to be serious. Right? You created the debt crisis for Zambia. This government is trying to resolve this debt crisis, but you are attacking the government for trying to solve the problem that you created. For goodness sake, I'm appealing to the Patriotic Front to come back to their senses and support our government's effort to resolve the debt problem that they created. Which means, bafwire balemba statement my law, ukweba China, ukweba UN, ukweba IMF, bonso kubeba ukweba te, ishinkongole twaibire. On behalf of the Zambian people, we are supporting our government's effort to resolve it. That's what we need to see. So kanshi kumusupporta ulefwa yokusolve a problem yankongole tali kumusupporta. Nomba bakwetu tuisupporta ubuteko ulefwa kuchita resolve ama this debt problem. Never to quite a conversation by UPND Banandi. Number, we support 8 months in. Omuntu alefuaya aye alande nabo tuwa kongola ko 29 billion. Tuwaka natiyo mkwai tefyo yo tuimusupporta. Tadi kumupele nkosho. Wemwa umekabiye ulande nabo pandu abashiro bubuafya niba PF. Kasove. Echo twakusadire. Go and resolve this problem. Aya ikala nabo abazembereka uko batnamwishiba. It's true. Ishinko nangu niba PF bakongwere. Ninkongole shachalo. Nomba tulefwa yoko chita resolve bane tuikale panshu kwa wati muire much to give up on some of the interest mulefwa ya. This year 1 billion from Eurobonds is due. Eurobond by PF na bamao sampa baide Kongola 1 billion is due yonsefie 22 billion ilianga ni 22 shan. Number, if you use that 1 billion ukulipira ama Eurobonds, it means then that tamwakwato lupia to channel into other places. Number, vane tuisupporta mulanshobo ko bata mwe pressing. Number, mwebaome wafya tukwete ni 29 billion. Number, ni supporter ama efforts that are being done to resolve this debt crisis. I shouldn't. Maybe at Yom Kwai, don't do that. And then what? Our economic woes are going to deepen. There will be no steady driver in the driver's seat. And if you think that if intuna finina, it would be in fact worse. What we need is to be steady and say, we are in this together. Tule chula bonse. Nombanangu tu chule shani. There is hope at the end of the tunnel. Let us resolve the problems by PF Vashide because they left problems. if you are PF bashire, my problems yeka. Now, that we should be focusing on the past. No. What we are saying is that there's got to be a clear recognition from the PF itself about it left a huge mess. That's on the debt situation. And in fact, the president at the press briefing mentioned it. Now, we move on from there. We go to our resources, our mines. Okay, Mopani right now. So Mopani right now, we are owing 1.5 billion. KCM, we are likely to owe even more. That is, if the plan of the PF continues under the UPND government, we'll be owing more because already AMA agreements in the international Shani they've already given Vedanta. So that's why anger is not a plan. It's an emotion, very, very important emotion, and we are all human beings. But at the end of the day, beyond anger, we need a plan. We need a plan. Hello, about all these resources, if he nkopafia mano na mwishiba bandu mulanda Munshya ulalanda sa no ndonfua bakasonsonga balelanda ndekutika balelanda no tax hello basalondololo kwe bat you see if ichitika pali taxation ya ma resources vyakwe bat ngatamuli steady kuti mwayona wira. That's why ngana mukwata copper efyo kateka alera ndokuba natukwata copper natukwata cobalt natukwata manganese elo kateka ukuisa lumbula lwapula of all provinces mwewa kuma provinces yambita bamilumbwire mairo yo kateka alisa lumbula lwapula abati lwapula kwali ba manganese kulwapula elo manganese eyo balefu ayo kubovya in what in electrical vehicle batteries kanshi lwapula will be the new copper belt, will be manganese belt. Actually, nationally, Luapula to Alachinja, from Luapula to manganese belt. Imagine. Number, Kuba steady. Kuliabarera ndokobati, if you want 1.5 billion, kuya fimu achita tax. Ala, nga chinshi lungu tachitire tax, pakobata sanga mo 7 billion, idaide Kongola ku China. Why didn't he do it? It's because fiabu fee. Ma myths, if you are bantu balanda landa fie. Na tukwata a very steady guy ku State House. Very steady. Uatekanya. Ni pilot. Aleensha fie bwino. We need to be steady na ifwebene as citizens. On copper and tax. Bali vepoko bati at ayama companies bali bapela tax holiday. Now, ufi mwevo. Mwabona? Ba PF babu fi. Bale mi vepoko bati kwa liwa ma tax holiday. Takwa ba ma tax holidays Mozambia over mining. No. The only way, when we look at other copper producing countries around the world, each of the country you point at that it is doing very well with copper, here is the key. It's the production of copper. That is key. Not the amount of taxation that grows your economy. It's expanding copper production. In other words, the more copper you produce, the richer you are going to get as a country. The focus on taxation of these companies is not what grows an economy. Echo, Shide, right in State House, what have they said in the past 8 months? But we need to grow our copper output from 800,000 metric tons per year to 3 million metric tons per year, because that is where growth of our economy lies. Tualikwata millions and millions of tons of copper in Zambia right now. Buried and kuliako inekuchua impala panshi copper. Umirenge manganese. kubwengwa nako kwine kwali befintu mwebo nango bale tushoba banaka chindoko batuli batutu kwa befintu kubwengwa kulya everywhere. In order for our economy to grow, we need more copper production. So the question is, how do we enhance it? What model are we going to use? Vakateka balandira at the Botswana model. Botswana model. Nomba, tupate omuntu ule tuletera Botswana model. Ndeva muncha fuirisheko, tumupate. Ine ndeke atiyo mkwai Munshya ulalanda sana praising this guy. Nomba mwebo, umuntu watu webo kubatara, alefu okutsa implement Botswana model of resources in our country. Station. Then that you should temenwe. Ulande therefore could start grow copper production from 800,000 metric tons to 3 million. Then that China you shouldn't. Alefo kulanda na baliabo ba PF ba ile Kongo la ko lupia pako but they resolve ka issue ka debt. Then that yo mkwae. Eno nomba tule umfuira utuntu tusabaira. You know? Kwali kamoka spokesperson ka PF akalumendo kamoso. Katushinga kalumendo kakasa hizi ande. After election college to disappear. Because kale tino kwebati ba UPND vakesa ndopola. Nomba kaza sango kwebati the UPND is a serious government. But HTF concentrate on trying to resolve the problems that the PF left. Elo kachita resurrect mwe. Katushuko kaisri abduct again. Kaisarelo kale mituka ukumituka imemwebe na Zambia. You know ukumitumfya mwebe na Zambia. Wemome walikuisa in September. Kali afisama. Twalomfuate kali ku Malawi, twamfuate kali kusala kaya mukufisama. Nomba kasango kubati there is rule of law in Zambia nomba kafu matako nkani yapo kuponta. Tali kale ponta. Necho kale pontela nicho there is the rule of law in our country. There is the rule of law in our country. Rule of law. That is what we were fighting for. The rule of law. Number. After the rule of law, Nagateka Wine, if you heard him very well, leadership is to control yourself. You see, pokola. It's very easy. When you are president, kwisala fiat imewaka pokola. Kadia kapono nini. And they do it. Nama soldier. Very easy. It's very easy to be brutal. It requires a lot of self-discipline to restrain your power. Nifotu mweba kateko kubati iwe kateka you mean baliawa kuchitirefilia tetina ngufyo wa senda kofyo umoa ya mulali kako even if it's one day in sales every no I'm better than them. Nga ni mumu alete kati ni mweba sarire tedi nga mwaliba chuchunganya babantu. He doesn't do that. It's a plus. It's a very good seed for our future. Kumba ala mwikonka ni apo kumutumfia pantu kutifia pena anytime elonga fia pena ni mwe mukatampa no okudila. Don't enjoy this. This is normality. Ekuba nomo echalo kukwa kwebati you know abantu baletwanga fina as long as tabaletukana tabaleta racial or tribal discrimination, it's okay. We are a democracy. If President Hakainde Hichilema had not told UPND not to avenge, we would have a bloody crisis in our country today. PF, they actually have no insight in psychology. I'm a Belela psychologist. There is something known as insight. It's very important. Insight is the ability to reflect on your own actions and acknowledge that you hurt others. Tamwa inside. Had it not been for President Hakainde Hichilema, today, there would have been blood on the streets of our country. Actually, immediately he won, there would have been blood on our streets. Do you know why that never happened? He took a mic and spoke to his people. This is what he said. You, imwebe name as UPND members, you know the PF abaishire mukumi chochonganya. You know them. They broke your backs. They assaulted you. They shed your blood. You know them. In your neighborhood, you know them in Milenge. You know them in Wengwa. Do not avenge. Don't. You know what that did? It brought peace in our country. Number watch techo. I don't know. I pray that God continues to watch over our country and continues to hold the UPND back. Ain. Bakonkaniepo wina Kristo. No mutima wako erera. Ukwakubat uenda Muchoso Street na mukalanga na mukapompe street. Elo wamsanga tu eudia PF and turn around without acting on the desire to revenge. There are many times that I myself feel like, oh, why not? Why not? But I remember the words of the president. No. We are better than them. We are not acting according to their wishes. Eso nombakanshi. Vamona tu yumuntu but they are provoking him and he's not. That is leadership. That is what we were. That is exactly what we were looking for. Poise under provocation. Walikuata maka. Nemfutu walikuata. Namatia gas. But you are self-controlled. That is what we were looking for. Did we have it? Yes, we did. So number because they begin lying, they begin confusing, they begin saying all sorts of things. So number no, because of Shan. No. Anyway, that aside, there is now the issue of the DPP. Now, it appears like the issue of a DPP. It's I think it was straightforward, and then suddenly it's not straightforward anymore. Anyway, the DPP has written a letter to the Judicial Compliance Commission saying that the DPP is seeking permission from the president to waive the official secrecy. I don't know what the president will say, but I really don't think that the secrecy oath is binding on a person who is before the Judicial Compliance Commission. I'm quite skeptical about that. I don't think the Official Secrets Act would bind a person in that situation who must account to the Judicial Compliance Commission. But maybe she's sending a message to the president to say, I know more. Katwishi, to information to more to talk about they will embarrass you. So because of that, I'm asking you to act on it. But I really don't think that she needs permission before the Judicial Complaints Commission, right? You shouldn't have done what you did. I don't know. The fundamental issues I think that we'll be dealing with is what happens when you have a leadership and state actors and constitutional office holders who do not share the political objective of an administration. What should happen to them? I know that some of my friends believe that the DPP and other constitutional office holders are completely independent. Now, if you have listened to my views very well from the past, even to the present, I don't regard law enforcement to be an independent arm from the executive. I don't. I do believe that both law enforcement is political. Even prosecution itself is political. That's what I believe. And so there's got to be talking between law enforcement, between our executive, our political leaders, and prosecutors. That's what I believe. But there are several of my friends who argue otherwise. They say no, this law enforcement is completely independent. It's not. What about prosecution? It's completely independent because the DPP under the Constitution says that the DPP cannot receive any, cannot be interfered with by anyone, and is not subject to instruction by anyone. But here's the problem. If you say that the DPP is not subject to instruction from anyone, the problem is one of the key elements in prosecution is the public interest. Public interest. So public interest basically just means interest. If you desekesha abantu, if you allow sekesha abantu, if you allow umfuisha bwino abantu, if you allow ngokubatu mutende mchalo konka nyebo. So how do you make a determination of public interest if there is no interaction between you as prosecutors and politicians, right? That's why I just want to be practical. Yes, there should be that. And our politicians should be held 100% accountable for the failing and the successes of the fight against corruption and of law enforcement. That's what I believe. So it shouldn't be that the DPP is failing, because ultimately the DPP is never elected. It's the president and parliament who are elected, and they have the responsibility to ensure that we prosecute criminals in public interest. So there's got to be some form of interaction. We as the people of Zambia, we are going to become the judges of that interaction. If the interaction enhances the fight against corruption, we will be happy. If the interaction defeats the fight against corruption, then we are going to have issues. So I believe this saga will continue expanding and growing, and I hope that the Judicial Complaints Commission and other people are going to come together and try to resolve this problem. Mukelabai.
Yes, Council. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a discussion here. And
yes,
I'm looking
please.
For your input.
No, what you're saying is very, it's actually making a lot of sense. And I don't understand why today we should continue talking about the things that made the previous government lose power. They know that this card they keep on playing every now and then, the hate speech or negating the incumbent. Now that he is the incumbent, has the instrument of power, and they still want to put him in that box where he can still be abused, they can still do whatever they want to do. And it seems they have never actually learned not even a single lesson for the loss that they suffered. Right. To me, I find that really questioning their intellectuality, or like you put it, that there was something in terms of psychology, insight. I don't know what you said, Pariapa first.
Insight. nalilufyania
nalilufyanya. Finshi, why can't they?
Tefi kulufyania tamwaba
Mhm.
iyo.
Awe. That's why the law, Muleba Monati, they can even go out there upon realizing it that, oh, this man is not acting, is not arresting us like we do, because that's what they expected.
Right.
They expected to be treated the way he treated them. Unfortunately, he brought out the principle of the Bible, the forgiveness. And he wants to say, I am not going to reduce myself to be like you.
Yeah.
So instead, he chose to use the word, I forgive you.
Yeah.
And then let's move forward, because he has the country at heart. Not just one particular tribe, but the whole tribe. Look at his cabinet today. It is so different from the previous cabinet that was just one-sided. So in Elias Munshya, I feel so sorry to the well-meaning PF members who are being misled by their own so-called MCCs.
Yeah.
They should just abolish that and come up with there's that MP who is very vocal. I don't know from Northern Province. He's a Patriotic Front member or independent. I don't know, but that man makes more sense. The one that almost fought with Munia Zulu.
Anthony Mufulira.
Yes, that gentleman makes more sense when he speaks,
right?
Because he's trying to ask them, gentlemen, let us focus. Look at what we did. Look at our mistakes.
Right.
And then let's work on to something and rebrand, not to collect utumala ability to motwine. The same chaps that made them to lose, they are the chaps that they want to continue with no fee.
Yeah.
Even if they call us our names, we shall continue talking and put sense, not until. You know what? Do unto others. Scripture. Do unto others as you'd want them do unto you. Because we have been trying to put sense in them.
Yeah.
So iyo issue ya mwandini, iyo enairifie. But pali issue about DPP, it is something that is really mesmerizing me, because of that every government that comes into power, the office of the DPP is always put in a corner where there are a lot of issues, and there are a lot of these officers that are appointed. They are put in a very awkward situation where they have to find a way to fight between the politics and their constitution and their offices. And you remember the Chisokone letter, that famous Muliwa Mwanawasa? Every time yes. So there's always.
Yeah, I think the major issue that Zambian democracy, there are a lot of myths that we need to defeat. Now, my positions are not, my friends do not agree with some of the positions that I hold. And the myth that our politicians have no influence on law enforcement, that's a myth. It's not democratic. As a matter of fact, our politicians are politically accountable to the people of Zambia for the effectiveness of law enforcement. Law enforcement does not function in a vacuum that is removed from political supervision. The problem is we've invented this independence of law enforcement, and we even expect it. That is untenable in a democratic nation. What we need to do is to tie law enforcement accountability with political accountability. Once we envision that, we are going to put pressure on our politicians to do the right thing. Politicians, on the other hand, are going to put pressure on law enforcement so that law enforcement delivers to the expectation of the Zambian people.
Now, do you
the
see...
problem is the myth that has prevailed makes it very easy for politicians to throw in the towel and say, I know nothing about that.
Mm-hmm.
Look, let's look at the saga that has happened right now. Had it not been for the outcry of the Zambian people, we don't know how this could have gone. We, as the Zambian people, we are the primary law enforcement agency. The link between us and our bureaucracy is the politicians. And so we must continue expecting better and expecting more. But our politicians cannot throw in the towel and say, I'm not responsible for anything. The problem with the DPP is that this idea of DPP's independence, unfortunately, works to the disadvantage, because we, as the people of Zambia, we know very well that we want a DPP who is going to prosecute criminals. Right? Now,
absolutely.
The DPP, on the other hand, has this tremendous power where she can decide to discontinue any case that she judges to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, there is no accountability of that power anywhere.
Yes.
And we are saying no. The power of the DPP to enter Enole must have political accountability to the people of Zambia. There must be a link. Where is that link going to be? We're going to go to our politicians. Because the DPP is saying, no, I can't say anything. If the DPP is exercising tremendous power to stop prosecuting one who we as the people of Zambia believe is a criminal. After she exercises that power, she then goes and hides behind the protection of the Constitution to refuse accountability to the people of Zambia. So we must find a way of the DPP being accountable somewhere.
Yeah. But at the moment, we don't have. And she has the prerogative.
We should have our politicians. That's why we are putting... That's why we are putting the pressure on our politicians or the president or the Minister of Justice on Parliament. That's the pressure.
Yes. And what happened to the aspect?
If you are some people in our constitution are going to have power. Now, powers ayo nakateka takwata. And do that without accountability to the people of Zambia. It's over. No, it's unacceptable. If you as the DPP, you exercise a knowledge, at least give us. We are not asking Okoba to pay everything. I entered the knowledge because akabwafia nyaka in general terms. Yes.
Yeah.
But shama nole, wafole shama nole. Elo wala kana Okoba, you can't account the people of Zambia. We say no. Forever chinjo kuteko kateka tula muchinja. Kateka tulafumiapo. LDPP akano kuwa accountable to the people of Zambia. No.
I know. But that's the problem with our law.
You must be open to be accountable to the people of Zambia. Golefwa yench to yabu DPP. You must be open to account to the people of Zambia. It's simple. Gataulefwa yokuba accountable to the people of Zambia. Kanshi wikawa DPP. Go and continue running your law firm. Bantu finofine na inenchitaran ka law firm. Akanono kuba sungu. Kono. During lunch ndesa pa TVBAKWETU. Kainge kandi karampera go pressure panono. But yes, kandi. Go and do that. But as long as you are director of public prosecutions for the people of Zambia, we want accountability, and we are going to find it completely unacceptable that a DPP can do whatever they want to do without saying a word to the people of Zambia. Imwe kwa diba amaka ya so ya kwa watu walikuwa tafia amaka ngolefu ya fie nole ngolefu ngafia kupingula fie nole. Engifia chile Blue Wand, Mutembo Nchito Blue Wand. bamwikata bakapokola.
Ayayibikira noleka.
Ine am director of public imwe bakapokola mwanchikata.
He entered the knowledge.
Balange mutembo nchito evere panono sana hapo. I'm director of public prosecutions.
Yes.
Asaina na nole atwalira na magistrate I'm completely adisini ngachite tapale cho ningachita
yeah, you can't question a knowledge.
No, onse every person. That's why this is a clear instruction kuli onse fie muchalo that are exercising discretionary powers. No, it goes to the Judicial Complaints Commission. It also goes to the Judicial Service Commission. Abengishama judges. You know, if you're at ama lawyers abene, bale dabo who the Judicial Service Commission was hiring as judges. Kumona fie. At na mulala wacho oluchero ama judges bale dumukira fie. Judge, no, you need judge. No, you need judge. Lawyers level they were hired in the night because apparently the Judicial Service Commission, according to the Constitution, it is not answerable to anyone. In a democracy, muletsa hire ma judges in a democracy, and you're not answerable to anyone. But muletsa hire ma judges ubushku. No, we are appealing to the Judicial Service Commission when there is a vacancy for judges. Advertise it.
Advertise.
Elo abantu bachita apply. Elo nomba mwa bachita vet. Elo mwasala from the people. Na ifo tule umfu wako. Not if ya kuleta ama judges pakatika bushku. Midnight judges. Fiakale. Fiamu alungu ifyo. Under this democracy. Tulefwa a clear thing. Elo nomba. You can say no, you are not accountable. Why? Because the Constitution says so. Awe. No.
Anyway, but let me play the devil's advocate, Munshya. We have the law in place. And for us, of course, we have a duty to change the law that we gave ourselves. If we see that this law is busy attacking us or biting us, we can still change the law. It's never too late. But apparently, that's what the law says. That the DPP, the null prosecute cannot be questioned. It is stated in a constitution. It is there.
Yes. So the null prosecute cannot be questioned. It's true.
Yes.
No. Yes. We're in a democracy. Coach Stephen Tufi about democratic. Also, all lesa apelo tumaka.
Yeah.
Kubonfio tumaka. In a way that enhances democracy. Can't take ubonfia maka. Elo nomba wa mkupela manole kuliba bululu show. No.
They're abusing. Yeah, I know.
Atinalikuwa tamaka ya kusonta cabinet. Elo waya sonta in your cabinet. Abena mirenge beka. No.
That's what happened the previous.
It's true. Alikuwa ta discretion. Nomba you can't bring tribalism in your discretion. Tuakana. Ne ama judges ama judges but dumukira fyo bushku na mulala ba dumukira no any judge no why? Because the Judicial Service Commission ilikuwa the power to appoint judges. No,
and we can't question them,
and you can't question them. No, Vande, no,
that's undemocratic.
Imagine we had to take Kateko Mwine Adifibwino Adibize Okumuita for a press conference. After he addresses the press conference, no kukosapoto akosapo Tefu Fishanshan, our president, father of the nation, Umwine, Ndambalo Kateka Wachino Chalo. Elo nomba Judicial Service Commission ikane to be accountable to the people of Zambia. Okola leta ma judges midnight. No. Tulefwaya every arm. At least ide tulondo werako. Oh bane na tuchitefi bane tuaperera hapa bane. Efena kateka alandi roko batara bane law enforcement. Mule eba kwa abantu mwapera ko information.
Yes.
Tufure tuwareka bane. Tuareka bane panto insta yapo kuno kuntu munjerereko bachirofya
Munshya mwalanda sana but mwalanda fya mano Baba Kelenka, Baba Musha. I totally agree with you 100%. May the case of the PF never return to Zambia.
No.
DPP Bamusha, who has cased my DPP baku Zambia? Look at Mutembo Nchito, what he did.
Power, Kaidi. Eh?
So,
Manone.
Bamusha, this what brings me to now one thing: reforms. Why can't we reform through a constitutional reform and reduce the power of this DPP? You said a very important thing at ama bosses, ama enforcement agencies, including the prosecution. They're not supposed to be independent. But Bamushaku America, ama judges, they've got a tenure. You can't touch them. But the first thing the boss, President Wako America, is to fire the boss of the CIA and the FBI immediately.
Yeah.
Because Balabantu Balia, they pay allegiance to the government here in Palapen and Panjita.
Yeah.
Just like our DPP, there is no, we can't even hide it.
Yeah.
Ni blulu ba milingo lungu na balungu.
No.
What we are saying is they are friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there could be some issues of allegiance.
Yeah,
there.
allegiance, and then even the way she behaves. Ama nole area. Numba bamusha. Not only ama nole. Nama immunity number.
Namwinshiba. Katwish. Inshallah, ndepo pafia my immunities. I've chosen not to. But
no. So let me continue bamusha. So as if that is enough. Bamuita kumilando. Bamusha. Judicial Complaints Commission. Is it not a statutory body?
It is. Yeah.
It's like a court. So the only way walikwata secrecy, even much to me to assign ama secrecy, because we see ama salaries, ama bosses, we see ama salaries, ama workers once. You can't reveal that, but in court kuna hashta reveal because now anjita.
Yeah.
Oh, kutra ibiro na hashta review ba musha ba fola shinga. But before that, they teach the review to intervene.
Yeah.
So there is no way that lady would have responded like it's like Aleba president, Imova president, for something. He's holding the president at ransom.
Yeah.
That woman is actually holding the president at ransom.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because you can't. Yeah, you can't actually.
Please, mupele immunity, you mupele norio, you miringo.
I think that's the only way to interpret that letter because the Judicial Complaints Commission is a constitutional body that is designed to get complaints from the public and then deal with erring judicial officers.
And whether it's confidential or not.
I can't respond to you because of the oath of secrecy.
No,
that one is
because that's now the best. That's the best time now to reveal the secrecy if there was any.
No, there isn't even secrets because look, that's why right from the beginning, what you see, Gatakuti kuliko some issues with prosecuting Miringo that center on national security or national interest.
Yes.
Understand. There is no need for this confusion. Mutwebe fyoko bati kwena ilyo miringo aibire ulupia ilyo kunomboku kwa shupa so twala mpera fyeka nole or something like that.
Nimbikumbieko lwaile limbieko kwa ile kumbiko kuli immunity.
We understand.
Obviously.
Yeah. And if there were some negotiations, that's why for the open executive, meaning executive agencies talking to each other and accepting political fallout. When it happens, because if you talk about a DPP at Yaliba independent, elo kwa aba problem, much that dissociate yourselves from the DPP. So DPP number, ebere imwe, ninkwata ko to information tumo.
So Bamusha, what this woman is saying is to Alafidila Munsenga.
Yeah, ni ulule.
Na la ulula. It's like I'm gonna wash at Bakateka. Before I wash the dirty linens, peled permission. Elo wakateka wasema no, please don't do that.
Don't do that, yeah.
It will have fire away. But this is too late now, Bamush.
Yeah.
Where we are now, nobody's gonna stop this.
Yeah, they have been hiding. They have been hiding, taking advantage of that clause.
The most interesting thing now, how is the Judicial Complaints Commission gonna respond to that?
They'll say you can't because you are a judicial officer. The Constitution says that you are classified in your discipline. You are classified as a judicial officer, and so it's the judicial procedure that takes precedence.
Can I start writing a book, Vamush, of this movie?
Yes.
I'm telling you that something.
Says,
I don't know how this is going to end, Vamush.
The DPP is disciplined according to the judge's thing. So that's the procedure that it applies to the DPP. And so the judicial complaints process is handled by the Judicial Complaints Commission, and they are the ones who superintend the disciplinary process. If you're saying that no folk ofisako tomorrow, maybe tomorrow ofisako tomorrow, but ukulanda inshallah and then about JCC because of official secrets, it's a very cryptic.
It's not just any committee. This is a statutory body.
What are you saying?
I'm joking. I'm just joking, Mamusha. I'm just joking. Yeah, I'm joking, Mamusha. But Mamusha, I've never seen anything like that. When I saw that letter, is that letter true? Maybe it's fake.
Could be fake, but it appears true.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I think the best thing is if you are DPP and you don't share the prosecution goals of the new government, let's sit down
and negotiate my way out.
Yeah.
And then Bamusha, you mentioned something about Ababantukula Tukakateka and everything. I think Ababantu, they've taken a forgiving heart Yawakateka for a weakness. And then the other thing, Bamusha, you were right. Ababantu, Shimbakambwili, and the rest, Batampirok Tukabatonga.
Yeah.
Nothing came from the leadership. Nakachinda, Navachita continue. Even Boman Rusambo, Pale Imbolu Imbwati,
yeah.
But there is nobody from the leadership, PF, who land at Lekeni tribalism. You know Nakachinda Nomba, Alanda Muchibemba. And yet half Makula ku Southern Province.
Yeah.
Alanda Muchibemba. So is Nakachinda trying to incite the Bembas to rise against the Tongas?
Yeah.
Why is Nakachinda all of a sudden speaking in Bemba? So, Bamusha, you're right to say these criminals should be grouped together because to about PF, they say in the open, the genuine patriotic PF, they say in the open and tell the nation that if Balakachinda divide each other is wrong and should stop. But nobody, not even Lungu, has come out. Imagine when Chimbakambwili was insulting the Tonga from one province, the northern provinces, from Luapula to Chinsali to Balungu never condemned it.
Mwandini, mwewena bwengwa. Nagachinda nomba. Nangula muli ubobwino ubututu ebo tulefwaya. Ebo tuate mwako. That is what we want. Kanshi, we are one country, one Zambia, one nation. Once to Ribatutu. We are all one people, and nobody is going to divide us. If we were Rifiala, Nabalozi, Tuaupa, Abakuchpata, Abatonga, Nimfu Mushava, Ushi, and we are happy. We have no problem. Number one, Nagachindavena, Vamona Mobututu. It's terrible. Professor Kasonso.
Mkwai.
I was telling everyone ukwewati kuli mweko mfumiyamano yama taxes nama namba.
Actually, isevine awe na totela sana akashima kenu mwandini kandu kalondoloka. Mfumiyama namba.
So ngamlelo ndolola domfwa. Mamona.
Na totela mwandini chocha nonkila.
tushere na 6 minutes.
Yeah, twacherwa mwandi nipansa kapano ndekeni tuchefe afemu ayo mapoints mwachira pango kwa vati vale vakateka timutu tu Zambia in the first place Munshya chalo cha balanda kateka wa Zambia ni mfumu ya balanda so ngachakwa ati mwaita balanda ati batutu okay ule mfuko kwati muliko akashobo akalusele because of the person it's directed at. But in Moisa to Manafi won't say. All of us won't say pano to it. What if that why Shiva? Richard Warren used to say, we are all idiots, but just on different topics. So for example, I am such a mechanical idiot. Nganaiswa moto kakula kuntanshi mbona mwentanda. Nokuikata spana ngana javati nipili kiteko pamu mbona kwa tina lato wa engine yonse. So na alikuwa tako na kamwensa kwa kuikata engine. So if pari filiachi tapari fana ishi papo. Yeah, so ubututu is limited knowledge on just on some topics. So but uliomulumendo efya kubati ale mmila kateka ifwe inshiro twale ine nali kuntanshi nshare shinshikila pali balungu bali tupanike sana tuwa bale tubutausha felionse. So nababe nabanensu nabo banwa ko supu ya hivyo fine kubeko kuba funda ko tumotu mofya fine, but it is not constructive to be using tribe. Well, that is the thing I am detesting about his. At least in Gabaresho Bakateka to Mona Vefi, Tetuaresho Baba Lunga to Bakwete dental formula Yamfuko, Chayangu Kapo. You know? So no Bavena, Baleam Kwikata Pamukowa, you can't insult a group of people. Or you can't have satire. You can't satirize a group of people. For satire, yes, tuwale munafe balungu na wiko kuna bafala skate ya mfumu ya kuswazila ndio tuwa posta pati kwena the gods must be crazy na ka picture mwavika pwelo balungu bapala na kariake. So it's like we were satirizing our president. Yes, we didn't like him, but we were satirizing our president in his personal capacity. We were not satirizing his tribe. We were not satirizing his family. We were not satirizing his work ethic or his poverty and all those kind of things. So now vachitabu inovaka jowa echo na chife panokweva nango yapo programu na sefia sana kweva tulomumendo ali caged. Elo kulia kusolweze kwa live vitonji mulya mukariati ashipe yapo na perera mkwai.
Nona ka treatment bale mpela kusolwezi nako kali questionable kuma guys about kusolwezi the complainants. They have been complaining already to say bale mpela ka security kwati ni mfumu ya Africa and they actually housed him in a motel or something, but I have no proper evidence on that. But there's gentleman who reported the matter was online as well. But otherwise, having said all this, I just want to urge my fellow Zambians that anyone that is trying to come up with lies, you know what to do with such people, and let them be put in the right place where they belong. Not to kulabashita praise kwati they are something. They are not. And we cannot get, I keep on saying this to everyone. Every time I come on this, I say, why should we waste our time getting advice from people that were incompetent, that lost power? So we cannot go back to the person that actually failed to run this nation, that brought this nation into disrepute or into katwishuk. Today, we say, at ever kwetama advice on how to advise the current government. Bale yoko okutali, we don't need them. We don't need them. We don't want. They should shut their mouth. But we because we are not interested in getting advice from losers. And I'm happy Bolungu is quiet, except for one day when he wanted to talk about hypocrisy. But I think he received also the rebound from the response from the public.
All right.
About his opinion.
Thank you very much. On that note, Vomukelabai, we've got to end here. This has been a presentation of TVBAKWETU. Elias Munshya here with our friends Mukelabai, always fresh from Zambia actually, and Dr. Patrick Chilufya and Professor Jones Kasonso. Be sure to join us tomorrow when we bring Honorable Mabeta and several other MPs that are going to be telling us a little bit about how things go. And then on Thursday, we have Thursday night motivation with Frank. On Friday, we are going to come with another very exciting program. On Saturday, Mr. Mapanza Nkwilimba has a program on constituencies and what's going on with CDF. And then that's on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have the Linda Banks show. Don't forget to tune in on Sunday. And then on Monday, Professor Kasonso comes with the one-on-one with Professor Kasonso and Mr. Patrick Chilufya. Elias Munshya here. Good night. God bless you.